Hey, it's me, Elizabeth Sines, aka Fairy Woman, and we have made it to day 8, which is chapter 8 in the book of the Fairies Guide to Being Human Magical Companion. As always, I want to give a shout out to somebody before I get started on the day, and today is my friend Tiffany Rose over at Majorly Arcana. If you are just delving into magic now, she has some great ways to just start dipping your toe and exploring what it is to do magic and play with witchcraft. She has a tarot spread that is based on Justin Timberlake, and that's when I knew that we had to be friends. So I'll have her link down below, and you can check out her website, her blog, and all her cool stuff. All right, let's get into it. Day 8, kind of a lengthy one. The fairy message is: you are very good at having compassion for others. You can remain patient and kind. Why do you have such difficulty with focusing that compassion on yourself and your own life? You hold yourself to expectations that are unreasonable. You continually strive for better. This is good, but you must remember this is a process. You cannot decide to create a cake and suddenly have a cake. Well, actually you could, but you have chosen this time, space, and reality to exist in. So do not get mad at yourself or think you're doing something wrong because you have to get the ingredients and make the cake. This also does not mean that you are alone or not connected to the One. It just means you're making a cake. If you want help making the cake, then ask for help. Know that help means others will not necessarily bake the same as you. Then share this cake with all those around you and spread the love. Don't ever think the cake is just for you. You are experiencing the creation of the cake, but those around you will enjoy the smell, the sight, and the taste. In case you don't understand, the cake is life. You are creating this cake right now. You have made many cakes. Some have passionately devoured, while others you may have burned and tossed out. All have led to this cake you are creating right now. Even if you are baking it, you're not doing it all. There's magic when you mix all the ingredients. There's magic when it sits in the oven. You cannot control every factor of every moment. This is why you need tenderness with yourself. When you make chocolate and realize you wanted vanilla, when you don't hear the timer and it cooks too long, when the oven breaks or the milk goes bad. Creation is a messy process, and life is a creation. Compassion will allow you to relax and move forward. The Cupcake Fairy. Okay, I find this one particularly funny right now because in our house we had bought a bunch of milk, and for some reason, I live in a house of 9 people for those that you don't know. So we had bought a bunch of milk, and for some reason, like, nobody was eating cereal or milk for the last few days, and we had like a whole gallon of milk that turned really much too early. I mean, it was like out of code by a day or two. And then we were like, what can we make with the with this milk? And we're like, cake. We can make cake because it's actually a cake we have, the chocolate cake that we have that uses the spoiled turned milk. And then waffles is the other thing you can make with turned milk. So know that even if the milk goes bad, you might be able to make cake. But on the larger sense of the metaphor, what we're in right now. So many of us had plans and ideas about how this year was going to go. So many of us had concerts and weddings and parties and conventions and so many things that have been canceled. And you can sit around and be really frustrated by that. Or you can see that this is all part of a larger creation of humanity. And in this larger creation, you have your own part to play. So it turned out different than you thought. What can you create from this moment? What can you create with where you're at in this moment right now? I think that's what a lot of us have to think of. Or do you need to create? Maybe it's a time of turning inward and not being creative, but going into healing and looking at what you need to feel. Maybe it isn't about producing anything. Just some food for thought. Pun totally intended. Action step. Sensuality often gets confused with sexuality. Sensuality is the act of being deep in your senses. There is shame and judgment mixed with your sensuality because of the confusion with sexuality. This is silly. Pleasure should be reached for in every moment you can. Pleasure ensures you are present in this moment. It brings you focus to now. It also focuses you on your feelings, where your wisdom resides. Indulge today in sensuality. Take the time to experience the sweet, juicy fruit around you. Feel the green grass or soft sand beneath your bare feet. Enjoy the caress of a soft blanket on your skin. Soak in the bright sun. Allow yourself to melt into the embrace of someone who loves you. Find the yum. I am a strong believer in sensuality. I think that sensuality, it is the one of the many wonderful reasons to be alive. If you find yourself feeling hopeless, don't try to make yourself happy. Try to find something that feels sensually good, because you will innately get into that richness and goodness of life. And that can be different for each person. Some people, my daughter loves anything that's like super, super soft and fuzzy. I have this big jacket that's super soft fuzzy. She like wraps herself up in it. She loves it. Where I actually find things that are too soft kind of creepy on my skin. I don't like it. So I think it's going to be different for every person. But find what feels sensual to you. Find what like feeds the senses. Don't look at making yourself happy or trying to get into an emotion. Just see what's going to feed your senses in a pleasant way. And I hope you find some magical answers to that question. Have a wonderful day.